Good morning, folks. I thought I'd give everyone a brief update on where we are with Advance UK. Now, as you might recall, we set ourselves a hurdle, a self-imposed hurdle of 30,000 members before we would apply to the Electoral Commission for registration as a full political party in Great Britain. We hit that hurdle on the 6th of September last month, and consequently, 2 days later, we applied to the Electoral Commission for that registration. Since then, I've had a couple of exchanges with the Commission, nothing of any real consequence. We've had to make a few adjustments to our constitution, and we've agreed a position on a few other points. So unless something comes out of the undergrowth about which I'm not aware, I would anticipate that we should get our registration as a political party in the not too distant future. But I'm not too worried about the rate of progress with the Electoral Commission, because irrespective of whether or not we're registered, we're forging ahead and building the party anyway. The second step after getting our 30,000 members, and we were doing this coincidentally anyway, was the creation of our college, a body of independent people with great minds, fearless speakers who act as the eyes, ears, conscience and intellectual ballast of the party. We've had a number of great applications to be members of the college, and a number of people have been admitted into the college, and you can find their names on the website together with short bios. I'm pleased to say that we have a lot of people who are new to politics, who've obviously been politically engaged but haven't been politically active before. And I'm pleased by that, because I think one thing that this country needs is new blood in our political sphere. There's so much regurgitation that goes on of the same old people coming round and round again. Same old people who actually delivered us into the peril in which we now find ourselves, being given yet more opportunities to make a mess of the country. And one of the things I hope we'll be able to do with Advance, and the college is a really great way to do it, is to bring in new ways of thinking, new people unsullied by the past, with a clear vision of the United Kingdom. And as I say, I hope the college will do that. I highly recommend you go to the website and look at the people who've already joined the college. And if you're minded to apply to the college, please do so. All applications are very welcome. And we would wish to have the best minds, the most fearless people who care about this country in the college. The third thing we're doing is using the members we've got and the people who've pledged their active support of the party to develop our ground game. As I'm sure you know, I've been cancelled by GB News and Talk Radio, and it's therefore imperative that we go over the mainstream media, over these television and radio channels, and connect directly with the people. And what's so brilliant about having got to over 30,000 members, in fact, we're at 37,000 members now, is that we can go straight to the people of this country. 37,000 members is enough for us to be able to get leafleting, organise events locally, promote ourselves in local Facebooks, and establish our regional network. And that is the next thing that is coming, the establishing of our regional network. Under our new national nominating officer, a first-class lady called Yvette Cleland, we will be piloting 2 regional networks in the very near future. And once those 2 pilots have established themselves and we've proven that they work and that we can then roll out our regional network across the country, we will be doing exactly that. And Yvette will then be looking for applications for regional heads, assistance to the regional heads, constituency heads, and local campaigners, and so on. I know many members are wishing to get stuck in and get into the political fight, as it were. And I would ask you just to bear with us a little bit while Yvette gets this regional structure sorted out. It shouldn't take too long to do, and once it's done, we'll be able to go full swing into our political battle. But in the meantime, if you are keen to do things, please do go to our website. There's a portal on the website that's at www.advanceuk.org.uk. www.advanceuk.org.uk. There's a portal on the website where you can buy leaflets, caps, other merchandise, etc. So if you're minded to promote the party, which I would love you to do, please go to this portal, get the leaflets that you need, get whatever other merchandise you need, and start building the party locally. That would be terrific. Of course, we can't put you into any formal structure at the moment, as I mentioned, but that will come very soon. That doesn't, however, mean that you can't go out and start advocating for the party. If you're able to do so and willing to do so, I strongly encourage you to do it. We've got to build our membership. We've got to, in my mind, to be assured of winning the next general election by storm, we've got to get to 1 million members by 2029. I know that sounds like a very tall order from where we are at the moment, but actually when you think about the rate of progress we've made in the last 2 or 3 months and the desire by the British people for a dramatic change in the way that our politics functions, I think that is perfectly possible to achieve by 2029. And I think we should do it, we should aim to do it, because if we achieve it, we will take that general election by storm. Then the last thing we're doing, equally important at the moment, is the development of policy. We have a policy head appointed, a member of the college, who is setting up committees of the college to determine the various policies that we now need to establish as a party in order to save the United Kingdom. And we're taking what I would call a coherent, holistic approach to the creation of policies. We're not going to be looking at individual policies in isolation. We'll do that, of course, but we will look at these policies together as well, making sure that the collateral impacts of policy developments, and there will be collateral impacts that result from the various policies we wish to enact, those impacts are taken into account, and we have further policies to either mitigate the adverse consequences of a policy or to potentiate the better outcomes of our policies so that we get the best possible result for the United Kingdom. And that very serious work is now beginning. And I hope that in the next 6 to 9 months, we will not just have a complete policy framework for the party, but we will have, backing it up, actually the beginnings, if not having completed it in the next 6 to 9 months, draft legislation which would make it possible to deliver these policies onto the statute book. You might have heard me say in the past that when it comes to the manifesto in 2028, 2029, we don't just wish to have a set of policies, we wish to back those policies up with the draft legislation. So when we win that general election, we go into Parliament with a democratic mandate, not just for our policies, but with a democratic mandate for the draft legislation itself. And then the Lords and the civil service and all the naysayers and all the impediments that people will try and put in our way will be that much easier to push out of the way, because we will have the British people having endorsed not just our policies, but actually the draft legislation backing it up. And that's roughly where we are at the moment, folks. I'm very excited about the forthcoming regional networks once they're set up, because once we've done that, we'll obviously be able to accelerate our ground game, accelerate the British people's knowledge of our existence, but also then begin the other really serious bit of work that we need to do, which is the identifying of candidates to stand for the party. We need, just as we've got great people in the college, we're going to need great people to stand for the party so that when we win those seats to go into Parliament, or we win council seats, depending on which elections we're contesting at the time, when we get people into positions of authority, they actually have the capability to implement the policies which we're now creating. Thank you very much for listening, folks.